Could you go over some testable points regarding continuing commissions, compensation, salary, when it isn't and isn't allowed? Okay, well, on the 24, to have share commissions, discounts, or allowances, somebody has to be properly registered with one testable exception. And that testable exception, Karen, would be a retired rep who has a contract with another registered person for trailing commissions only on the book of business they put on there. So I have somebody I tutored years ago, but every year on Barron's, she's like the top 3 or 4, 1, 2, 3 or 4 as financial advisors at Morgan Stanley. I'm not saying there should be an asterisk there, but probably maybe because her dad was a top producer at Morgan Stanley and he turned over his book of business to his daughter. And they have a contract and he pays him on business he put on the book. So maybe he's floating around on some cruise and, he bumps into somebody and the guy on the cruise ship says, man, I wish you were still a broker at Morgan Stanley because I have some financial problems. And I could use some help. And he goes, well, my daughter is one of the most, sought after financial advisors in the country. She's in the Barron's list, number, 453. Would you like me to have her give you a call? And he says, yeah, that would be wonderful. So Emily calls him, signs him up. And then dad says, okay, well, I'll expect that to be added to my check. And then she says, no, daddy, you can only be paid on the book of business you put on the books. If something happens to dad and it was part of the written contract, then Emily could pay her mom. So the only time somebody who's never been registered, never, ever been registered, can be receiving commissions, continuing commissions, is a widow or widower of a broker, and that was part of the contract. If something happens to dad, mom's going to be paid in that. So that would be the number one I would see. And then the other one would be situations on the 24 where I have, for example, I'm a top producer, life insurance. I don't have a 6, I don't have a 7. Brian has a 6, 7, and a life insurance. And I come to Brian, I hand him some paperwork. I say, Brian, this is a variable annuity. This is a $10,000 commission. I'd like you to put your rep number on, sign it for me, and I'll give you 2 of the 10. No. To get a concession, discount, or allowance, you have to be properly registered.